Realm of the Mist podcast with your host, Chris Stolle, presented by Realm of the Mist Entertainment. Hey, what's up, guys? Christopher Stolle back with some Realm of the Mist podcast. It's been a while. Joining me today, first and foremost, a good buddy of mine who is Melwood and too many other names to put together in the character for Sounds Dicey Gaming's D&D games, as well as one of the co-hosts of War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast, Mr. Joe Cahill.
Hey, everybody.
And then a first-timer on Realm of the Mist podcast, she is one of the co-hosts of the new Realm of the Mist show, the Sock Drawer podcast. If you guys have been checking it out, it's hilarious. I'm probably going to butcher your name because I keep wanting to say America, but it's Marcia.
No.
Yes?
Yes,
Marcia.
but I go by Dusty. So.
Dusty. Okay, we'll go by Dusty. Dusty will be easier for me.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, we're sitting here today because we're talking about something very, very special, near and dear to my heart. And I know, Dusty, I've heard from you and from Salem that this is your forte anyway.
Oh, yes.
We're going to talk Ghostbusters.
Who are you going to call?
Insert copyrighted material right here. No, but Joe, I'll start with you because I already know, and then I'll let her go into detail. I already know what Ghostbuster means to Dusty, but we don't really know what Ghostbusters means to you throughout the years, especially the first two original movies. Of course, we're not discussing that piece of shit.
There was only one
film.
No. That's good.
The best way to describe the 2016 film is, I don't know if you guys remember, there was two Ghostbuster cartoons.
I watched those. I had the toys.
There was the Ghostbuster one where the car talked, and then there was the real Ghostbusters, which was based off of the movies.
Which was way better.
I
had all the toys, yeah.
To me, the 2016 Ghostbuster film was the knockoff Ghostbusters cartoon.
Okay.
So, anyway, sorry. Joe, go ahead.
Well, when the original came out, the original, I was actually stationed overseas. So it took a little while back then for these things to catch up to us. So I'd already heard from all of my family here stateside how wonderful this movie was. So I finally got my, let's say a friend to get me a bootleg copy on VHS and send it over. So we watched this horrible film. I am so disappointed. I'm so upset, only to find out it wasn't a real bootleg copy when it hit theaters overseas. A little joke played on me by my buddy, but we fell in love with it, all of us. We went, off base, saw it, and absolutely adored the movie. So it became a strong point of my sci-fi, fantasy, all of that stuff back then in the 80s.
Well, I'm definitely going to get Dusty's reaction to this too, but I definitely got to start with this question to you, Dusty. What do you classify Ghostbusters? I mean, it's alumni from the original, well, not the original, but the Saturday Night Live, who got together and came up with a script and a story that's kind of part comedy, part sci-fi, part horror.
That's exactly what it is.
What genre would you classify Ghostbusters under?
I think it's its own genre myself, because it's all three. I was trying to explain it to my co-host Salem, because he's never actually seen it. And it for me, when I was a kid, it was a scary comedy, and I loved every bit of it, because I didn't classify it as sci-fi yet, because I didn't realize paranormal goes into sci-fi, because I was young when that came out.
Right.
So, but it was definitely very involved in my childhood.
Well, let's hear the details. What does Ghostbusters mean to you?
It was one of the first films where I got to realize what paranormal was. And we went and saw it in a theater. And when we got out of the theater, we all ran over to a store that made T-shirts with the vinyl decals. And we got T-shirts that quickly, and I wore that thing till it got holes in it, and then I got all excited a few years later when they were filming the next one, and we were in New York City at the time because I had won a scholarship to go do something in New York City. It was awesome, and I tried to sneak away from the tour to get into the crowd scene. Teenage me got caught and was sent back to the tour. So what I did is I made the tour do a walking tour, and any place that was in the first movie that I recognized, I took pictures of with my little 110 camera, and I had a little album of these are the places Ghostbusters filmed. And the theater scene they have in one of the movies where they go by and the second one where they actually show the title and everything on it. I have a picture of that. It was like, yeah, it was one of the things that got me heavy into the idea of sci-fi.
Excellent. So. Well, for me, I'm gonna one up Joe. My first experience, I didn't get to see it in the theaters. I was a young kid, whatever. But my family came home with it on Betamax. Yes, I'm that old.
Wow.
Kids, hey, my neighbors had it on Laserdisc, so.
Kids, for those that do not understand what Betamax is, picture a VHS tape, just smaller. Actually, yeah. I can make the argument that I think Betamax was better than VHS, but neither here nor there.
Well, and for kids who don't even know what VHS is,
true.
It's a
These kids nowadays barely know what a DVD is or Blu-ray. It's all digital nowadays.
You're not kidding. The other day, our Ethernet cable fell out the back of the computer, and my son's like, "What does it look like?" I said, "It looks like a phone cord." He's like, "Phones have cords, Mom?"
You just want to smack them, don't you? You know?
Yeah.
Ouch.
If you really want to have fun, you take away their cell phone and plug in an old rotary phone and just sit there and tell them, make a phone call. Let them figure it out. But, no, but the Ghostbusters, I remember, like, the major fandom to me was always Star Wars. And, I love Star Trek and Indiana Jones and all that. But, there was something special about Ghostbusters. There really was. The first time I saw it, like you, I was a young kid, it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being creeped out by Gozer, and the dog. I always confused that. Gozer was the dog or the god?
Gozer, the Gozerian. That was the god.
Gozer was the god. For me, it was the librarian ghost. That thing freaked me out.
That was a little creepy, too, yeah. And, I was an impressionable young kid, so Dana Barrett floating over the bed kind of creeped me out a little bit, too. But, I mean, I absolutely adored the Ghostbusters to the point that, like, I was forgiving of Ghostbusters 2. A lot of people hate Ghostbusters 2. Not as much as 2016, but they hate Ghostbusters 2. I don't.
It was nowhere near as good as the first. I tell people, if you like Ghostbusters, just stay with the first. Don't worry about the second. But that's me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know it's not as good as the first, but very few things have the, as I call it, the Empire Strikes Back ability to be better than the original. But I don't feel Ghostbusters 2 was a bad film. Maybe some bad parts, but I don't think it was a shame to the Ghostbusters franchise. Again, unlike the other aforementioned title.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I never saw
I'm
that
confused.
one. Yeah, I literally boycotted it, and I'm to this day never going to watch it.
Oh, I wish I'd done that.
I kind of did. I was in the middle. I because of the fact that Realm of the Mist podcast used to be originally about straight up pop culture, and we would review things. I watched the Ghostbusters 2016 movie, but I didn't pay for it.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm still feeling like I want my money back.
Well, I think he actually did pay for it. It's a different way.
It's true.
Yeah, psychologically.
But what about you, Joe? Where do you land on Ghostbusters 2?
I liked it, actually. It was, like you said, not nearly as good, but at the era of sequels it came out, it was better than a whole lot of them.
Oh yeah, and I mean it had some of the memorable scenes to it. I mean, the dancing toaster, for example.
Yeah, that could have gone. We could have done without that. Rick Moranis was fantastic, though.
Always.
Yeah, I mean, I loved him in the movie. Mm-hmm. So stellar performance there. Actually, he carried a lot of the film with his comedy and how he reacted to everything.
True, very much. Mm-hmm. I think if there was anything that bothered me about Ghostbusters 2, it would probably be Annie Potts. I felt they kind of slutted her up more than she should have been.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like a complete departure from the character from Ghostbusters 1.
Yeah, they did, because Ghostbusters 1, they didn't really have the hot female appeal. I mean, Dana was pretty, but it wasn't, sex appeal type deal for the whole time. She was normally dressed, normal person for a lot of it. So I think the second one, they had to up it, trying to get more of the male audience for some reason.
Right, but you're talking about Sigourney Weaver. You can't, after Alien, you can't put that woman in a role that's supposed to be like, TNA. She's a hot, strong lead female character, even back in the 70s and 80s. You ain't slutting her up.
and that's what I liked about the original Ghostbusters, because it didn't have any of that gratuitous stuff that a lot of the 80s movies did.
Except for her legs.
I'll take your word for it.
I mean,
there was the scene up on top of the building. Mm-hmm. In the dress with everything flying around. She looked pretty good.
True, but that was ruined because she just banged Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was scary. Now I understand why you guys fear the film.
But hey, shocker out of nowhere, a couple days ago. This is the reason we gathered here today. They have announced Ghostbusters 3 a while ago, but unbeknownst to anybody, 2 days ago, they dropped the trailer for the brand new Ghostbusters, the official Ghostbusters 3, which they have aptly titled Ghostbusters Afterlife. Guys, you've seen it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, great. Well, before we do go into details about what we've seen in the trailer and how we think it'll fit the mythos and everything else, I'm going to play the trailer for our YouTube fans. I'm going to stop recording and let the trailer play, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss, what we've seen, what we thought of it, our likes, our dislikes, and speculate a little bit. For our audio podcast listeners, you guys are just going to hear us go, okay, we'll be right back. Hey, we're back. I'm not going to put an audio version of the trailer on the audio podcast, but I will link set a link to the trailer in the descriptions below, so that way you guys can go check out the trailer on your own times if you haven't seen it yet. So, guys, we will be right back. Check out this trailer, and we'll discuss it in a few minutes.
What are you doing here in Somerville anyway?
Honestly, my mom won't say it, but we're completely broke. And the only thing that's left in our name is this creepy old farmhouse our grandfather left us in the middle of nowhere. Why'd you bring me up here?
Entertainment value?
What is that?
I don't know.
Somehow, a town that isn't anywhere near a tectonic plate, that has no fault lines, no fracking, no loud music even, is shaking on a daily basis.
Under the dining table now! Hey, remember that one summer we died under a table?
I found this in my living room.
Whoa, killer replica.
A replica of what?
A ghost trap? There hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years. New York in the 80s, it's like The Walking Dead. Your dad never mentioned this to you?
It's just my mom. My grandfather died. My mom says we're just here to pick through the rubble of his life.
Call it luck. Call it karma. I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Come on, darling.
It has a gunner seat?
See, I told you it wouldn't take us long. Hey, we're back. All right, so you've seen the trailer. We've seen the trailer. Now you guys have seen the trailer. Let's discuss the trailer. First and foremost, I'm gonna start it right off. The title, Afterlife. How do we feel about it?
I like it because I think it's basically it's a nod, because this whole thing looks like a nod to Egon's gone.
Right.
So.
That's where I'm hoping they're going with it. That it's all going to be the afterlife towards Egon, and
you can tell it is because look, it's about his family. You can tell. Right. I got chills down my spine watching this thing, going, "Oh my God, it's a total tribute to the original."
Right. The character, the actor who played Mikey in Stranger Things is supposed to be Egon's grandson.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell from him and the girl, his sister, they both have the curly hair and the look. You can tell what they're doing, and it's wonderful.
My favorite part is Ant-Man going, "Nice replica."
Yeah, like it's a collector's thing.
That was beautiful, yes. And his face when it starts to open, do the light up thing, it's like, and he realizes it's real.
Ooh. Or it's really a good replica.
I will admit I had a total fangirl moment when they took off the cover of Ecto, and I'm like, there she is.
The real Ecto.
Hey, I went and saw the real Ecto back in the 80s when it came to the mall, so that was a big deal for me.
Well, it was funny because like you mentioned that, because that was one of the things I argued with a lot of people that try to defend 2016. It's like, well, they paid tribute to Ecto 1 because it was a hearse. No, it was a fucking ambulance.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I know, because I got to touch it. So,
back in the 70s, 60s, they didn't use like the big box vans like ambulances are now. They use basically station wagons, which Ecto 1 was.
Yes.
So.
And to see her, even though she looks like she's run down, but still her, was just a beautiful thing.
Well, let's really break down the trailer here. First and foremost, we know that we're following Egon's daughter. See, I'm not clear if
I think that's a daughter and son.
Well, see that what I got from the trailers, the grandson does talk about the fact that his dad's gone, but his mom's there. Yes. But what I'm not clear of is if the mom is Egon's daughter or if she's Egon's daughter by marriage. Yeah.
I think that I have a feeling it's daughter-in-law.
Okay.
But I basically he said all she had left was that house. I think she inherited it from her husband, who inherited it from Egon.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. And I do remember part of the trailer where the kid was talking about like mom had referred to it as digging through grandpa's junk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously this woman, whether she's an in-law or direct relation, doesn't think highly of Egon and his legacy.
And it makes sense, as they said they hadn't seen any ghost activity in 30 years, so it's become more of a myth now.
See, that to me felt like a smack to the 2016 Ghostbusters.
It definitely was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a shot.
It's their way of saying this movie does not exist.
Yeah.
Yep. Never happened.
That one very much felt like a smack in the face to 2016. Like, yeah, there's been no ghosts for 30 years.
So no Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that was their way of saying, nope, this is the sequel, ignore that.
Well, see, I understand, and I love the fact, like Dusty said, I love the fact that they are playing off of the nostalgia. but not so much in the sense of like they're just pandering to the fans. The trailer to me very much felt like an homage. You know, like this looks like something that like Joe, me, and you would get together and create just to say how much we loved Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know,
Wish I had.
You know,
Yeah.
very much a love letter to Ghostbusters, and I think that's the right direction. I personally think this is going to be a great connection to the past, and I don't know if I would build a franchise off of it, because of course in this day and age everybody's looking to build a franchise. I don't know if I want to see a bunch of snot-nosed pre-pubescent teens running around as the new Ghostbusters.
I don't know if that's going to be the case, though. We have to actually see where they go with it.
Now, if Paul Rudd becomes a Ghostbuster,
that would be cool.
I'd be okay with that.
I mean,
that could very well be where it's heading when the original guys show up, too.
Yeah, because I did double check. All the original cast that's alive anyway is in this. So.
And as their original characters. Not
yes.
like, again, I hate harping on it, but unlike 2016 where it's like they made cameos, but they weren't the Ghostbusters. They were something else.
And speaking of cameo, I like how they had that section from the original movie. They actually were watching as it was a news report that, you know, they had found. That was awesome.
Yeah, I checked it online. Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, I got chills from the voiceover, Bill Murray's voiceover, where it was back to the call it luck, call it karma.
Yes.
Like, I got chills from that. I'm like, Jesus, that fits in so well.
No, you can tell whoever wrote this is a fan. There's no doubt about it.
Well, it's Ivan Reitman's kid, is it not? That's directing this?
I did not look that up, so I don't know.
Because Ivan Reitman wanted to do Ghostbusters 3 for the longest time, but unfortunately he and Harold Ramis had passed away. And now it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's Reitman's son who did this film.
Because that would make total sense. Because it's just everything from when they panned over the table and you can see all the backpacks and everything. It was like that's all their equipment was right there. Mm-hmm. So I wish I could go to that basement.
Don't we both?
Yeah, Jason Reitman.
Jason Reitman, thank you. He
and
wrote
it, was
it too,
by
right?
He and Gil Keenan wrote it.
Right, okay.
So that makes a lot of sense.
So much sense right there. Why the impact it already has with just a trailer.
Well, I mean, it makes perfect sense for how much of a love letter it's going to be. I mean, I got to imagine Jason grew up with his dad doing these films, and of course being a close friend of Harold Ramis, who was basically the brainchild of the Ghostbusters. You know, the concept. So.
And I already have a theory about what's going on, but I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
Well, we'll definitely discuss theories in a minute here, but like, you know, with Jason, I got to imagine this is not just a love letter to Ghostbusters, the story, but it's also a love letter to people that meant so much to him growing up, Harold Ramis and his father, Ivan.
It has to be.
Like, I imagine, like, that makes my hopes for this movie so much more because this guy doesn't want to ruin their legacy.
And it's a perfect tribute so far. So
I mean, we've had one teaser trailer, but yeah, well,
everything
trailer
in
and full
it,
trailer, yeah.
But everything in it's a tribute.
Because we did have the first teaser, and the first teaser was just the tarp blowing up and seeing the back of Ecto-1.
Yes.
You know, in the barn, and that was the only thing we got up until 2 days ago. So.
And this trailer was quite long too, so.
Yeah, it was like what, a 2-minute trailer?
Yeah, I was surprised.
2:40?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really long for a trailer.
Because I've been avoiding looking at it because I'm like, oh no, what are they doing? And then you said, hey, watch it so we can talk about it. And I watched it and went, oh my God, this is beautiful.
It's really sad because, again, you know, my first and foremost love and fandom in film has always been Star Wars. So you would think that I should be the most excited for Episode 9, which, don't get me wrong, I am. Mm-hmm. But I can't even describe how much I'm anticipating this film now.
I get you, because I'm the same way, because I remember going to see Star Wars in the drive-in. But there's been so much Star Wars since then that you're almost overloaded with it.
What are these terms you're using? VHS, Betamax, drive-in.
I know I'm old, okay?
We're confusing our audience, folks. See, kids, back in the day, films used to actually be made on film. And you could go to these places called drive-ins and watch them there instead of digitally enhanced theater screens.
Well, see, when Joe, Dusty, and myself were kids, we didn't call them movies; we call them talkies.
I am not that old.
No, I am not that old either. Look,
Yeah.
77, Star Wars 77. I was in 7th grade. There we go.
There you go. I was in my diapers, but I was there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was 5 years old for the first one. But
Wow, I just realized I'm the youngest one of the panel. When the hell did that happen?
He's so pleased. He's like, that never happens.
It doesn't. I'm usually the old man.
But but back to what you said, I think Star Wars has been overdone. There's so much Star Wars everywhere. Ghostbusters has been, it's a nostalgia thing that most of us know what it is, and most kids don't. So it's going to mean more to us.
I think you're right. I think this release is going to have the same feel. If I'm going to draw a comparison to Star Wars, I think it's going to have the same type of electric feel to it as the waiting for Episode 7.
Yeah.
Because to draw the comparison with Episode 7, not excluding the prequels, but most fans, they were waiting to see Han, Luke, and Leia again, and it's been 30 years.
Yeah.
Since then. So 2016, I think, Episode 7 released. People are going nuts for it, just for the nostalgia factor of seeing the Falcon again and Han and stuff like that. I think we're going to get the same deal, because like the last time we saw these guys, like really saw these guys, was back in the early 90s. I want to say 91, 92 is when Ghostbusters 2 released. And that was it. Yes, I know there was the bullshit movie. That doesn't count.
What's really nice about it is it did appeal to a younger base even now.
Yeah.
When the movie that shall not be mentioned came out, how many of the younger crowd, the teens in the early 20s, just exploded at how bad the film was and what it did to the Ghostbusters legacy. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't even our age group leading the charge.
No. And I'll admit, my kids, if you say who you're going to call, they immediately know what to say, and they're excited about this new movie coming out.
Yeah, so it's one of the ones that has stood the test of time.
Look, I'm going to be fair to the 2016 Ghostbusters for a minute. This is the closest to fair I can give. I've been on record on our podcast previously when 2016 was releasing. I've been on record that I do not have an issue with an all-female cast of Ghostbusters. I don't. I don't think the concept of the movie was that terrible, but the cast was horrid.
Well, and you got to admit, it's kind of scary when the action hero actor is funnier than the 4 comedians all the way through the film. Well, Chris Hemsworth was hilarious.
Now, see, I can't remember. The female Egon. I can't remember the actress's name. Kate McKinnon or something like that.
Yeah, something.
I have no idea.
Her and Kristen Wiig, I didn't mind so much. They weren't terrible, but the Leslie Jones and especially Melissa McCarthy. Like, who the fuck thinks Melissa McCarthy is funny? All she is a female wannabe Chris Farley. She's not funny. Chris was funny. She's not.
Mm-hmm.
She's a hack. And you like, what ruined the movie for me was not female actors playing the role. What ruined it for me was things like beating a dead joke that was dumb to begin with until, it just hurt to even think about it, like the fucking wonton joke.
Right, and like I said, I wasn't banging on it as female. I said the comedians.
Right. No.
Yeah.
The 4 comedians sucked compared to the action hero.
Well,
And I didn't boycott it because of female cast. I'm female. I boycotted because I took one look at the trailer and went, these are bad choices. I don't even want to deal with this.
Oh yeah, the trailer did not excite me at all.
Nope.
If I hadn't been laid up at the time, and people, put computer screens in front of me and made me watch stuff, I wouldn't have gone there.
Well, see, the reason I keep harping on the female is because, like, if you remember when the movie was first announced and released, and it was getting a lot of heated backlash from not only younger generation but our generation, because of the fact that it didn't pay any homage to the Ghostbusters. Of course, the first thing you heard is, well, you're hateful because it's an all female cast. No, I don't care if it was all female. It's just those were the wrong females.
Right. It was just the wrong script.
Because I can say the trailer turned me off, unlike this trailer, which has got me all excited.
Exactly.
But
that was where I wanted to go to at least give some respect to the 2016, is the fact that I thought it was a decent concept. It was just extremely poorly executed with the wrong cast.
Yeah. Well, wrong script, wrong cast,
wrong director,
just should have seen it and thrown it away, but somebody wanted to see if they could make money off of it, off the franchise.
But as
they threw anything at it.
But as far as going back to my point about Ghostbusters 2 and the time frame between Ghostbusters 2 and Afterlife, and why it's going to have such a nostalgic thing, the only other thing that really Ghostbusters fans had, if you're a video game fan, was the Ghostbusters video game, which was unofficially announced by Dan Aykroyd as a sequel to the Ghostbusters franchise. It actually fits the Ghostbusters canon.
Mm-hmm.
But even that was like,
Well, the 30-year thing is perfect.
Yeah.
The 30 years thing is perfect. It's going to take place after something happened shortly after Ghostbusters 2.
Yep.
They shut it down. They got rid of all the paranormal activity. The house is going to be sitting on it like a huge jail generator. And somebody unlocks something or removes something.
Because I can guarantee you that the reason why Egon would have moved in the middle of nowhere is because there's some kind of containment center under that farm, and it's going to go boom.
Well, they did hint towards something else. If you remember, they were talking about how like this place doesn't sit on a fault line, doesn't sit on like anything that could cause earthquakes. Like it doesn't even have loud noises or loud music in this town, but for some reason, for unexplained reasons, the town shakes.
Which is why I say a containment field is going to go boom.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a containment field, but I wonder if there isn't already paranormal.
Because there's got to be a reason why he would leave, New York City and go to the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And leave all the gear there.
Yes.
You know.
And I can't wait to find out why. I can't wait to find out why.
All right, so we know the original cast is coming back, but I've got to ask, is Slimer appearing?
I almost hope he doesn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Slimer's overdone.
Yeah, and they kind of killed him in...
They did.
That thing.
Yeah. To have Slimer come back is literally... It wouldn't make sense.
Well, wasn't he driving the bus in Ghostbusters 2?
Yeah, he was.
So what if he was hanging out with Rick Moranis? No, I'm being serious. I mean, the last I knew from Ghostbusters 2, Slimer was driving the city bus. He was forgive the term here. He was alive and well. Yeah.
I know he was. Again, I'm not a fan of the second movie.
Right. So.
But because I like Slimer as a character. I always have, but I don't think I need to see him back again. I'd like to see him new.
New ghosts and.
I agree with you, but I wouldn't be mad at a cameo. Like, again, I know you're not a fan of Ghostbusters 2, but his appearance in Ghostbusters 2 was literally a cameo.
That is true.
You know, so if we just got like, you know, Slimer in the background, or like I said, they find Louis Tully and he opens the door and you just see Slimer fly around in the background, I'm fine with that. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. Don't put them forefront. Give me new hotness. You know, but of course I want the nostalgia factor. I want Peter Venkman. I want Ray Stantz. I want Winston Zedmore. You know, to come back into this and be like, if you guys want to bust ghosts, we're going to teach you the right way to do it.
And far, because my biggest fear was they were going to try to do a lot of digital aging on these guys.
Yeah.
And there's only so much you can do. Okay, you know, you take a 70-year-old man, you can make him look like a 60, and I'll buy it. But when you take a 70-year-old man and try to make him look like he's in his 30s, and it's still the actor, you know, great movie, The Irishman. I don't know if anybody else has seen it.
I enjoyed it immensely, yes.
But even with the de-aging, you could tell that was an old man.
Yes.
You could tell the shoulders were hunched together, and it almost would fall, you know, at certain scenes when he would have to, you know, jog or something. It looks like he was going to fall over.
Well, but the nice thing is with this, is 30 years later, they can be their age.
Yeah, so and that's what I'm appreciative of, is they've decided to go this route. Instead of trying to de-age them for a film, they're going to keep them as the grandpas. You know, the grandpa squad or whatever that shows up.
And I'm hoping at first they're not going to be all gung-ho about getting back into it. They're going to go kicking and screaming. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah. Now,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I definitely see, especially Venkman. Like, I can see Ray.
Yes.
I can see Ray being all about it. Yeah.
But Venkman, I can see him going, no, I'm done with that. I'm retired from that. That's all done. But pull him back in anyway. I think it'd be awesome.
Exactly. You know, just like he was, you know, with Ghostbusters 2, he wasn't thrilled with the idea of Ghostbusters reuniting, where poor Winston and Ray were doing, you know, kids' birthday parties.
Yeah.
But welcome to my show. I'm Dr. Peter Venkman.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised one of them has like a book deal.
Nobody wants to come on your show. They think you're a fraud. I am a fraud. But yeah, I mean, is anybody disappointed of the fact that we did not get to see any of the original cast members in this film, even as a glance?
No, actually, no. I'm actually glad they didn't.
I think it raises the hype. It raises the anticipation now to go see.
They didn't even specify that was Egon's family. I just loved how they just hinted about everything. It was beautifully done.
Yeah, they never even used Egon's name. You just the look of the kids and of course the one that would keep all the tech would be the guy who created the tech. It makes sense that it's Egon.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But who knows? Maybe it is Venkman's family. Maybe the kid's last name is Venkman.
Hands down, that's Egon's kid.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, because he's the dead one. I mean, I hate to say it.
It's going to, in a way, it's going to be a tribute film to him.
Yeah.
So.
How mad? Well, we'll throw this in here. How mad, or maybe not mad, would you be to see a Egon ghost?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier.
It depends on how they do it. Because if they do it so that it's basically not like a main character, but basically they just get a glimpse of him with like almost like a Force ghost type deal, I would be okay with it.
See, I was thinking if they gave something where they took old footage from like Ghostbusters 2 or Ghostbusters 1 where he just kind of gives a smirk and pushes up his glasses and walks off screen or floats off screen, I'd be absolutely for that.
That would be fine, but if they made him into
minimal.
If they made him into a character that was actually part of the whole movie, I would be totally against it.
Yeah, there's too much of that CGIing, let's bring them back going on now.
It is.
Well, would it even serve a purpose, or would it be something like I don't even like if I saw it now that I have kind of an idea of the story, of which, by the way, this trailer gives great nothing.
Yes.
Like no plot was given away in this story, in this trailer, which I absolutely adore.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But they gave enough for me to kind of say that if they do the Egon thing, the Egon ghost thing, I think it's got to be to Mike, the little boy. It's got to be to him, like Egon giving his approval of this kid taking up the mantle.
Oh, that I would be okay with. But
It'll
not,
probably be a last-minute save for the kid, like by Grandpa.
Yeah, that would be okay, as long as it's not through the whole thing.
That would be my thought process, and then I could be wrong. And
Yeah, or he shows up and saves the old guys.
That would be funny. That would be funny. I would do.
And
so
he gives
behind
that look.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of
I think if there was any, we've talked about how excited we are and all the good things that we took from this trailer. We got to pick on some of the criticism, some of the critique. We got to do a little bit here.
we did critique it. We liked it.
I was gonna say, what did you find something bad?
There's only one thing that bothered me about the trailer.
Okay.
And it's part of the reason why I asked this in the beginning of the show about what you would classify Ghostbusters. The trailer felt very serious. Like, outside of the joke of, oh, look, a replica, there really wasn't any hint that this is going to be a comedy, which Ghostbusters, broken down, essentially is.
Well, I liked the door gunner.
Yeah.
I found that humorous.
They had just enough there, I think, that you're going to see it, but in order to not give anything away, they kept it very, serious and not telling you anything. But they did have a couple jokes in there.
Well, look, I know I'm nitpicking the shit out of this. I'm purposely looking for things to be like, okay, here's some negatives, and so that way I don't seem like I'm full fanboying, but I know I'm nitpicking the shit out of this.
Oh, believe me, if this movie flops, I'm going to be just crying in the corner somewhere.
Yeah. The follow-up episode will be listening to Dusty cry in the corner.
Because my hopes are way too high right now. And normally with trailers, I'm like, they give you enough that you're like, okay, I see what the movie's about. This one doesn't, and it grabs you.
Exactly, and I think it did wonders of doing it that way.
Yeah, I can't wait, and I have to, and I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I can sum it up.
No, you're absolutely right. Did they? I don't even remember. Did they give a release date?
I didn't see one. Did I miss it?
No, I haven't seen one anywhere. Let me check.
I think the only thing the trailer gave was 2020.
That's all I remember seeing. I didn't see an actual date.
July 10th.
Oh my God! No.
It's its IMDb release date.
Oh,
July 10th.
Oh, these guys are cruel to release something like this. Oh no, that's too many months.
So every show we do with Dusty, we're going to have to say something about Ghostbusters.
Oh,
just
absolutely.
to keep it alive for her.
Well, that's all right.
Thanks.
I'm kind of feeling bad for Salem right now because every sock drawer podcast from episode 6 forward, because episode 6 is already uploaded, guys. It releases next Monday, but every episode past is going to have Dusty just, God damn it, it's still too far away for Ghostbusters, and Salem's just going to be like, really?
I already told him, you can watch it with me. Please watch it with me. He hasn't said yes yet.
He'll watch it with you.
I'm hoping.
He'll watch it with you, and then he'll figure out something to get even with you. I mean, I've had people do that to me numerous times where it's like, yeah, I'll go see your movie. We'll go see the movie, and they nitpick and grumble the whole time, and then all of a sudden they cash in that favor, and I'm stuck at Titanic.
I can see that.
Or Napoleon Dynamite.
Well, this just means I have many months to wear him down so he watches it. I got this.
What you need to do is you need to strap him to a chair, duct tape his eyes open, and pop in the first Ghostbusters.
That might work, and then I can do it during my podcast.
And I promise you, by the time he's done watching the first one, you're not going to have an issue getting him in to go see Afterlife.
Because it'll make our podcast very difficult when we get closer and closer, because I'm probably going to mention it a half a dozen times.
Well, look, I don't mean to pick on Salem. I don't. But who the fuck has never seen Ghostbusters?
There's so many of the stuff from the 80s that he's never seen. I just introduced him to Conan, so it's just... So...
Oh, my God.
Baby steps.
A baby step? All right, next one's Masters of the Universe.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that to him.
Big Trouble in Little China?
There's a good one, yeah.
Monster Squad. Explorers. The fucking Goonies.
Oh, I made him watch Lady Hawk, too. So, but yeah, it's little stuff.
Goonies.
That's why he's that's why he's the perfect co-host for me, because this way I can handle the older topics, he handles the newer topics. Together, we're a comedy show.
That blows my mind. How has somebody ever not seen Ghostbusters? Like, I know my 9 and 10-year-old haven't seen Ghostbusters yet.
My 11 and 14-year-old have, and they're excited about the next one.
Well, yeah, my kids practically saw it in the womb.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I literally, if you say, who are you going to call? They are going to respond properly. I raised them right.
And I know they liked it because Mom was complaining about the kicking.
There you go.
There you go. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for here. Let's go ahead and finish off with just a rating. Let's throw out superficial numbers. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does this trailer not only bring home the fact that there is another Ghostbusters movie coming with the original cast, but how much has it sold you on this is going to be a proper Ghostbusters film?
8.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm not gonna go full 10. I'm gonna give it a 9.
I'm gonna ride with Joe here. You know what? I'm gonna split the middle. I'm gonna say 8.75. Like I'm sold that it's already take my money.
Oh, yeah. It's already take my money, but in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my God, please be good.
That's where I was gonna go with it. But there is that nagging voice in the back of my head. Is remember the last time you got excited for a Ghostbusters?
Well, that comment of hers, oh please let it be good, sure sounds like when we talked about this next Star Wars movie. And you and I are both like, oh please let it be good.
Yeah, please be good.
I am totally on board with that comment too. I'm worried.
You know what? I'm going to give JJ the benefit of the doubt. I think he's. Is it going to be the film that it needs to be to reconnect all the movies and bring all the fandom back? Probably not. But I think JJ loves Star Wars enough that he'll do it right.
Right. And like we discussed when we did that trailer, this is the first time in a long time I felt Star Wars.
Right. Of course, it doesn't help to have the Emperor's cackle.
So we have to have an episode. Yeah, I know. That was a good part. So you and I need to start planning our episode of after seeing the film.
Oh, of course.
Maybe you need to come on Watts with us, and we will have our spoiler edition.
I've been known to pop in from time to time, especially when your host said his work schedule might change up a little bit, which may actually have him recording at a day or time that I could join.
Yeah, boy, that would just, being regular recording time would be great for me.
And if you guys ever need myself or Salem or both, we can do that kind of thing.
Yeah, Watts is a blast. We have a good time on it. For those who don't, Watts, War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast here on Realm of the Mist.
Oh, speaking of, I might as well do this on air. Joe, I've been meaning to discuss with you. I've gotten the okay for talking Trek.
Oh, yeah, I'm in.
I used to be a Klingon in the 90s. I'm not kidding.
Star Trek is what got me into science fiction.
Well, that's the reason why I'm doing it on air, because I'm not hosting that shit. That's all you, buddy.
Oh, dude.
Hey, look,
I am willing to do talking Trek.
Live long and prosper all day, but I'm sorry, the Force is with me.
I toe the line between both.
You know what? I love both. I do love both. I love Star Wars more, but I love both. I do. In fact,
Just
I've been
like
marathoning.
I love the 50s sci-fi films.
Yeah, because I've run around as a Klingon. I've run around as a Jedi. I do both.
How about a
Jedi Klingon?
Ooh, I should try that.
Ooh.
Yes. You won't be the first. I have seen that at a con. But it is kind of fun to watch.
A Sith Vulcan.
Ooh.
Ooh, now that I like.
Isn't that just a Romulan at that point? No, ooh, I went there. But anyway, you were wrapping it up, right?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right,
we'll
start with Dusty, our newest member of Realm of the Mist, and of course, we popped her cherry on Realm of the Mist podcast. Go ahead and tell them where people can find you.
You can find myself and my partner Salem on the sock drawer. We're all over the place where Realm of the Mist uploads us. So, and Facebook too. I think that's all I've got right now.
All right, and Joe?
You can find me on Facebook at Joe Cahill, director, producer, Steamhouse Entertainment. Or please go check out The Last Battleship, my next film that we hope to start filming next summer. You can also find me on other social medias under Steamhouse Entertainment and email me at steamhouseentertainment@gmail.com.
There you go. And, of course, you can find me right here at Realm of the Mist podcast or Breaking the Fourth Wall podcast, where I do interviews. In fact, this coming week I will be sitting down with the son of the creator of the zombie film, Mr. George R. Romero. So that one's gonna be a fun one. And of course, guys, you can find me anywhere on Realm of the Mist Entertainment, or of course on our sister channel, Sounds Dicey. You could look up both on YouTube, and if you prefer the audio podcast versions, you could always look us up on Anchor.fm or Apple iTunes or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. Guys, thank you very much for joining me. I was thinking about it all day. I'm like, man, I want to talk Ghostbusters. So we got to talk Ghostbusters. I agree, July 10th is just too far away.
And it means July 11th, we got to meet up again.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Yep.
Realm of the Mist podcast will release on July 11th. You know what? It'll probably release on July 10th, just late.
Oh, great. That means I have to go see it at 6 a.m.
There you go.
Out here on the West Coast.
But we will catch you again on the next Realm of the Mist Entertainment, or Realm of the Mist podcast, guys. Have a good night.
Who you going to call?
Ghostbusters!
From celebrity interviews to Star Wars, to things that shouldn't be said but had to be said, to conspiracy theories, or maybe just a night of playing Dungeons & Dragons, whatever the podcast you're looking for could be found here at Realm of the Mist Entertainment. Make sure you check out all of our shows because there's something for everybody there.